What's up? This is me, bitch ass mofo. So I figured I would just make a Spider-Man movies tier list before a brand new day. I'm seeing it tomorrow, so this is my last chance to do this before my opinion changes. If you don't know, I'm a fucking whore for Spider-Man. I'll watch anything with Spider-Man in it. Spectacular Spider-Man is the greatest superhero animated show ever made and one of my favorite shows of all time. And I never shut up about it. So let's just do it. It's hot as fucking here, so let's make this quick. Spider-Man 1. This is pretty comfortably. It's either S or A tier. I'm going to put it tentative S tier. Might go down. This is a movie that I have so much nostalgia for. Could always watch it. Always enjoy it. Not much to say that hasn't already been said. Willem Dafoe Goblin is fantastic. Everything is kind of good except for James Franco, but that's a recurring theme with the Raimi movies. Next is Spider-Man 2. Obvious S tier. Higher than Spider-Man 1. Probably. Depends on the day. This one has probably one of the best villains out of any of them, with Alfred Molina, Doc Ock. It has the drama with, Peter's life falling apart because he's so committed to being Spider-Man and being the best he can be and all this other crap. And this is really what, at its core, what a Spider-Man story should be for me. Which is why, well, we'll get to the later ones, but they kind of lose the plot a little. First contentious one, Spider-Man 3. Not everybody loves this one. I put it at a solid B tier. It's not the best movie. It's kind of just okay, actually. But it is really freaking entertaining. It has some so bad it's good moments, but it also has some genuinely fantastic moments. The ending of this movie always gets me emotional. It's so good. Everything with Sandman in this movie is pretty good. The retcon with him being the one who killed... Oh, spoilers, by the way. The retcon with him being the one who killed Uncle Ben was freaking stupid, but the way they handled it once you ignore the stupid retcon is actually pretty interesting. I love Peter's rage. I do not hate the black suit. And you know what? I don't even hate Topher Grace Venom. Yeah, that's right. I don't even hate Topher Grace Venom. I think he's, fine. He's not really conventional like what you think of when you think of Venom, especially not back then. He was really more of a jock, weightlifter type, but, Amazing Spider-Man 1, I hate both of these movies so much. We're just going to give them their own tier right at the bottom there. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, terrible. I hate both of these movies so much. Honestly, I could go in, and I think my hot take here is that I think Amazing 1 is as bad or if not worse than Amazing 2. It kind of depends on my mood. And I had a weird experience rewatching them recently because I hadn't seen them in years, and I'm like, okay, Amazing 2, everybody agrees is shit, but Amazing 1 is actually pretty good, right? But no, Amazing 1 is genuinely has a lot of the same problems as 2, all the signs were there, and I hated the way they set up the villain. I hated how long it took for him to actually become Spider-Man and start doing anything. Everything with his parents in these movies is torture. I hated this movie. This is a movie that I was actually going to give its own video, but I just have too much to say. I would have to rewatch it again to make that video properly, and I'm very scared to rewatch it again because you can ask my friends. We were rewatching it together in a Discord, and I was having an existential crisis by the end because I remember liking this movie when I was a little younger, and now I watched it and I just hated every second of it. It's not the actor's fault. It's really the direction and writing let them down, but it's so bad. I don't even like the chemistry between Gwen and Peter in these movies. Yeah, I fucking said it. The one thing everybody says is good in these movies, I thought was really painful, and I couldn't stand their scenes together. Then Amazing 2, what is there even to be said? This is pretty obviously the worst one, objectively speaking. Subjectively, I might hate Amazing 1 more. I think Gwen and Peter's romance is just insufferable in this movie. I hated all their scenes together. I know, again, this is the one thing that everybody praises in these movies. I thought that sucked. So if that was bad, imagine how bad everything else was. I think the biggest sin of Amazing 2 isn't that it's bad or that he doesn't really act like Spider-Man a lot of the time, even though those are both true. The biggest sin for me is that it's boring. There's an hour in the middle of this movie with basically no plot where he just stops being Spider-Man for a while and starts researching his parents and shit, and nothing happens for an hour. After that first Electro fight, it gets so boring. It slows to a halt, and just nothing is progressing, and the parents' spy plot is so bad. So I hate both of these movies, but I think I might anecdotally hate Amazing 1 more than 2. Let's do it for clickbait. Let's put Amazing 1 worse than 2. Even though I think Amazing 2 is probably worse. So these are pretty clearly the worst. Now we move on to the Home Trilogy. I don't love these movies. I absolutely hate what they did with Spider-Man's character in the MCU. It looks like Brand New Day is going to redeem him. in my mind. I think he was already redeemed by a lot of people by No Way Home, but we'll get to that one. I think Brand New Day is like, oh, he's back to the conventional, struggling with money and, loneliness and all this bullshit. And it's like, yeah, that's what I'm here for. Not this tech, Tony Stark Jr. bullshit that they pulled with these movies. So let's just get into it. Homecoming. Now, I haven't seen these are the three that I haven't seen in a while. The rest of them I rewatched pretty recently, like Spider-Verse I've seen a billion times. These ones I rewatched recently. These ones I have not rewatched in a while, but I remember enjoying Homecoming. This is going to piss some people off, but I think it's below Spider-Man 3 for me. Spider-Man 3, for one thing, there's the nostalgia factor. We got to get this out of the way. But I kind of just like the emotional core of what Spider-Man 3 is going for, even if the execution kind of sucks at times, and it does have its boring parts. I was just going off on Amazing 2 for being boring. Spider-Man 3 has like 30 minutes in the middle there where it gets really boring. Like once the Harry amnesia shit gets started, the movie kind of slows to a goddamn halt. And it gets really boring for a while. So this also has boring problems, but I just hate this take on Peter so much. The constantly being compared to Tony Stark, looked down on by Tony Stark. Like, this to me is not what Spider-Man is. Like, even if you go to the run that inspired all these movies, every single one of them, the ultimate Spider-Man run from the early 2000s, right? Peter was a young kid in those movies, naive and needed to be guided by other heroes, but he was never felt like an outsider looking in thinking, oh, I want to be like them. He was off doing his own thing. There's a reason why Spider-Man is usually classified as a bit of a loner. Like, every time he joins a team, he doesn't really fit in. And it's because he doesn't really work as, like, an Avenger or, like, geez, Mr. Stark. Like, I hate that characterization for him. Which is why the next movie, Far From Home, is probably going to go in C tier. This one is the one I remember by far the least. I haven't rewatched it in a while, to be fair. But even Homecoming, which I haven't seen in a really long ass time. Ooh, that would be fun clickbait. Put Homecoming in C. I haven't seen this movie in a long ass time. But I still remember more than Far From Home. Far From Home is just the most forgettable one. I don't hate what they're going for emotionally in this movie with him, like, trying to live up to Tony's memory and stuff. Let me put it this way. I think Far From Home works for the context of, like, MCU Peter's journey and, like, learning to live out of Iron Man's shadow and all that crap. I just hate MCU Peter's journey. Up to this point, I hate it. I don't like how overshadowed he is by Iron Man. I don't like how Mysterio is basically a Tony Stark villain and Spider-Man is just collateral. Like, that's not Mysterio. And just, I don't know. I don't remember much from this one. This one's very forgettable. I feel like C is a little harsh, but for clickbait, we'll do it. Now, No Way Home, I remember liking. This is a movie I haven't seen since it was in theaters, so you can know exactly how long it's been. I think it's been about 5 years. And I don't want to rewatch it because I heard it doesn't hold up on a rewatch outside of the theater. And from the clips I've seen, that seems to ring extremely true. Like, it's just very awkward. Like, the long pauses when Toby and Andrew show up, and just a lot of the clappable moments. Which, me too. I clapped like a lemming in that theater. Everybody else was doing it. Of course I did. So this is a movie I'm terrified to rewatch. Right now I'm going to put it low B. I remember liking it. But I just didn't. It wasn't anything crazy. Like, Willem Dafoe stole the show. And honestly, all the returning villains, like Alfred Molina, even Jamie Foxx got to look good. The only one who got absolutely hoed was the Lizard. He looked terrible. And Sandman as well, I guess. But, the others were so good it kind of made up for it. I didn't even hate the fact that Doctor Strange was here. Like, that felt like closer to, like, when he showed up in Spider-Man, the animated series, more so than, like, the previous MCU Spider-Man movies where it's like, it kind of feels like Tony has top billing, even though he's not even present for a lot of them. So this one I enjoyed. It was a fun spectacle. It was a great theatrical experience, just getting hype and, going ape shit because Toby and Andrew showed up was fun. I like seeing them, all three of them interact. It was cute. The ending was emotional. This one's pretty good. I can't put it higher than Homecoming. Homecoming has Michael Keaton Vulture, who I liked a lot. Like, I hate that it's, again, a Tony Stark villain and Spider-Man's kind of just in his way. But, like, he is a great villain, and this car scene is as good as people. That scene deserves the glaze. Now on to the animated ones. Into the Spider-Verse. I mean, this is pretty easily the best theatrically released Spider-Man movie so far. What can I say? It's a perfect movie, 10 out of 10. I could think of things to nitpick. Like, there's one scene I really hate in this movie, but I don't want to be too negative because I was already really negative in this video, and we're putting it top 1 S tier. So let's not focus on what we hate. Let's focus on what we love. And again, this is another one where there's just not much that needs to be said. This revolutionized 3D animation. Sony Pictures like K-pop Demon Hunters, Mitchell's vs. Machines, all their animated projects after Spider-Verse are just trying to emulate Spider-Verse art style. And now every studio, like look at Puss in Boots Last Wish and all these movies, coming out trying to emulate Spider-Verse art style. So this really elevated 3D animation in a way, and like even though there have been so many who try to emulate it, very few have pulled it off the way Spider-Verse has. It just looks gorgeous. The emotion is just beautiful in this movie. I absolutely love Miles' coming of age story. And I like how almost every character has something to do in this movie. Some of them are kind of just there. Like, I think my big nitpick, and this is only in the context of Across, which we're going to get to in a second, is I wish they gave Gwen more to do in this movie. This is already a packed out movie, and there's already Spider people that don't do much here. But considering Gwen, by the time we get to Across, is basically the second main character, I wish that she had anything to do in this one. Like, I don't buy the romantic chemistry between her and Miles in this one. Like, it felt more like a one-sided thing. But then in Across, it's like, oh no, she cares about him just as much. And I'm like, no, she doesn't. I watched the first one. But then by the end of that movie, they sell it a lot better. Which makes me feel like it probably wasn't planned. I don't even know if a sequel was planned at all, but then they saw it was making a lot of money, so they're like, sure, fuck it, why not? And yeah, this movie's just fucking fantastic. I mean, great cast of villains, and just pretty much every character's great in this movie. The animation, I mean, I don't even need to say anything. And it's just the best one, and it has one of my favorite final swing scenes with the Post Malone song. And Miles it's just so, I get emotional even thinking about it. Just everything with this movie, it's so good. I've seen it like 5 times. And that brings us to Across. Across is fantastic. And I think my hottest take, I think it's gotta be S tier. I think my hottest take with Across, that means we have no A tiers though, which looks kind of ugly. Let's just troll people a little. No! Let's be serious. It's gotta be this. Just no A tiers. This is gonna make the whole tier list look fucking weird, but here we go. So, I was thinking of putting Across an A tier because it's only one half, but the thing is, I think my craziest take on my recent rewatches of Into and Across the Spider-Verse is, once Beyond is out and it's said and done, I think I'm gonna enjoy Across with the context of Beyond a lot more than Into, because Into, hear me out. Into is an amazing and beautiful coming-of-age story, and it's perfect. It doesn't warrant a sequel. That's why I was surprised when they announced 2 sequels, because I'm like, this doesn't even need 1 sequel. But with Across, it just has a much more mature, like he's a little older, and it has a melancholic kind of undertone to it. Like the disconnect with his family, feeling lonely even when he's surrounded by people. That's something that resonates with, I think, myself and a lot of people. And just the themes it explores with, young romance and trying to find his place in the world. Like, he's still trying to decide who he wants to be. And, of course, everybody telling him how his story's supposed to go when he's the one who wants to make his own story. Coming into his own as a hero. Like, let me put it this way. Into is an origin story, which is great, but we've seen great origin stories before. Across is like, okay, he's had his origin story. He's established as a hero. Now he has to find his place in this crazy universe. This universe beyond his universe even, the Spider-Verse. Who is he relative to other Spider-Men? And then you get that element of like destiny in, and he was never destined to become Spider-Man, which makes him somehow lesser in Miguel's mind, and it's a beautiful movie. It resonates with me emotionally like crazy. Like those, and of course, Gwen being the second main character. Let me tell you, when I started watching this movie, and it became apparent that Gwen was going to get a lot of focus, I'm like, oh boy, here we go, because this is just for marketing. I don't really care about Gwen that much. They made me love Gwen. Like, I'm so sold on her as the second main character. And it looks like we're going to focus on her a lot in Beyond, because obviously, at the ending of this one, Miles is tied up and Gwen goes to rescue him. So, I'm just looking forward to it. There's obviously things you can nitpick, but I'm not going to say anything critical about this one because it's not finished. It's one half of a story that isn't done yet. So that's my tier list so far. Hottest take is I hate Amazing 1 more than 2, but that's just on a personal level. I think Amazing 2 is probably worse than 1. And then the rest is whatever. The mid-CU ones I don't care about. And Spider-Man 3 I think a little more than most people. And then this top row shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. That A tier being empty just feels weird though. Like maybe we could move Spider-Man 1 down to A tier, but I just have too much nostalgia for it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I will probably be back with a brand new day review soonish, unless I have absolutely nothing novel to say about the movie, which, I don't know, I haven't been looking at reviews, I haven't been looking at anything, please don't spoil. This time tomorrow, I will have seen the movie, formed my own opinion, and then we can talk shop. So until then, catch you in the next one. Jeez, I'm never doing that kind of outro again. I'll see you later.